Earnnest is formed in 2017, and we're pretty unique in this space because we were formed by real estate agents. One of our founders' office is 3 doors down, and he still works in Greenville, South Carolina. So I think what's really unique about the product is you can see the recognition that no two agents do business the same way. Agents want flexibility in how they do business, and Earnnest was formed on that premise. There are multiple ways to use Earnnest, and I'm going to show you 2 of them today, but there are actually many ways to use Earnnest. One of those ways is through your KW command integration within the marketplace, and that links up to our desktop app. It's funny, when we started Earnnest, we had a desktop app and that was it. And our lead engineers are like, we've got to quickly replace this. People don't do desktops anymore. People hate working at a desktop. Well, people may hate working at a desktop, but that's still 1 out of every 4 of our requests that go out on a daily basis. So we'll show you that workway. We'll also show you our award-winning phone app. It is a 256-bit encryption app. If you're a layperson like me who does not have a technology background, what that means is 256-bit means banking level security, but it's got an award-winning workflow. The average agent goes through our phone app in 90 seconds to create that digital request. And in real time, that request is in front of their buyer, and their buyer can be at a pizza place, at home, picking up the kids from school, driving wherever, probably not advisable, that last one, but they can be anywhere they have internet access, right, from their phone, and access securely that request. All right. So that's what we'll be showing you today. Plus, we have a fully staffed marketing department, and one of their roles is to make sure that you guys have all the one-pagers that you need for your business, so you don't ever have to explain Earnnest, our security, or our process to anybody. When you're doing your buyer presentation, we want it to be as simple as you whip out a co-branded Earnnest stamped flyer. This is Earnnest, this is who I use, $15 flat fee, cheaper than a wire, and it lets me see where the money is. So we'll show you those as well. So those will be the 3 parts to this demo, guys. Aaron is manning the chat for good reason. If you guys have questions that you don't want to wait until the end, hit him up. He is a licensed real estate agent himself and has worked in the real estate industry. So let him know what questions you have. And we're down here in Greenville, South Carolina today. Just excited to be with you guys. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and share my screen and we'll get this started. All right, everybody see my screen okay? Aaron, we looking good? I see a thumbs up from Aaron, so that's great. So Earnnest, 2 N's Earnnest. If you go to Earnnest with 1 N, you'll get a great site on low interest student loan forgiveness, which is awesome, but that's not us. Earnnest with 2 N's is the digital earnest money real estate solution. And what you'll see right away is that we put up top our partners, and Keller Williams has a prominent place there. One of our founding agents is an active KW agent, so he really understood the workflow. And we'll start then by introducing our integration within KW Command, specifically within the marketplace.
From the Keller Williams Marketplace home screen, search for Earnnest, and then click View Details. Here, you can read about the benefits of using Earnnest. To activate the app, click Try the free edition. The entire app is completely free for agents. Confirm your order by checking the box agreeing to the terms and click Place Order. To create your first Earnnest money request, click Go to My Apps. Open the Earnnest app. You will be automatically signed in using your KW details. Select the plus sign in the top right corner. Use the form to enter the property address. Next, click Select an escrow holder and begin typing the business name. Do you have the mobile phone number and email of the person who is paying? If the answer is yes, click Yes. You will add it in the next step. If the answer is no, click No. You can invite the buyer's agent to complete the payment request. Finally, select the Save Property button. To add the payer to your transaction, click Add Payer Information. Use the form to add the payer's name, email address, and correct phone number. Then click Add Payer Info. To set up your payment request, click Set Up Payment. Use the form to enter the payment information. Check the list of who will receive notification via emailed receipt. If you wish to add anyone to this list, you can use the Add Additional Recipients field.
So what's really cool, I'll pause the video real quick here, guys. What's really cool about Earnnest is that we keep all parties in the loop automatically. We're like Venmo, but if you need to keep 3 or 4 parties aware, right? So the back office at your KW marketplace is already set up to get every single payment receipt. You don't have to do anything. Your buyer will get a payment receipt, and you, the agent, will get a payment receipt. Plus, you can add, let's say you want to add the lender here, because our payment receipts have such great details on the transaction. You can do that right here. So everybody is automatically kept in the loop, and you can add as many people as you need to as well.
Click Save. You will now have an opportunity to review the request you created. When everything looks good, click the green Request button. The payer will receive a request to pay their earnest money via email. When the payment is complete, you will receive a receipt via email.
So that's our desktop experience, guys, and those are our property cards. Now I'm in the live version here. Aaron, can everyone still see my screen well?
Yep, all good, all good.
I uploaded the latest Zoom edition, so I wanted to make sure it's still working the way it's supposed to. So in our live environment, guys, here's what you'll see when you sign in. You see this plus button like the video showed. That's how you create a property card. And then you're basically just filling out 3 sets of information, right? That property address and escrow holder, you save that. Then you add the buyer's information, you save that. Then you punch in the earnest money amount, you save that. Those 3 sections are done, you send the request. But what's really also cool about Earnnest is that there's no account or routing information or wiring instructions at all. Earnnest is not a wire. We are not a traditional ACH payment. We are something in between those 2 things that allows for good funds and good funds quickly. The average deposit time on our transactions is 2 days. A wire is obviously that 1 day, very fast, but you have the concerns about fraud, and checks are 4 to 5 business days. So we're a lot faster there. But what's really cool then is, how do we find your escrow holder? Well, you saw it demonstrated in the video, and I'm going to show it to you here live. As soon as you punch in a property address here for Ohio, 49 other states are eliminated from your search. And then when you click on select an escrow holder, it's basically like Netflix. Netflix for just the state of Ohio, for just the escrow holders in Ohio. And instead of putting in any crazy accounting numbers, you're just going to type the name that your leadership has selected right there for you guys. You won't even have to finish it. And that's how you pick where the money should go. The buyer has no control over the details you've entered. You as the agent have the control. You send them this complete request. All they can do is connect their funding source and be verified and move on. Everything else is set in stone. So that is the KW integration. Now we also have, though, an award-winning phone app. And what I want to stress here, the video mentioned that you just get automatically signed in within the KW integration, which is great. But when you're going to download our phone app, let me preview that page for you. When you go to download our phone app, and Aaron will be dropping this exact page for you, you can do everything on this page. You can download the app for free, no charge. Doesn't matter what kind of phone you're using. We have compatible features with both. It's going to work great for you. You can also see a short video of everything I'm going to cover here in just a moment in case you need a quick refresh. But a really important point, when you download this app for the first time and you sign in, use your KW email. That will allow the requests that you put on the desktop integrated KW version to also show up in your phone app if you use your KW email. Really convenient. You can still use this phone app really with any email, but you won't have that parity between the 2 platforms. They are on one database. They're designed to talk to each other, and they will if you use the same email address. So let's take a look at the app. As I said, 256-bit encryption, very, very simple. I actually have an iPad version that I've downloaded for these demos, but yours will be the phone app. You can see here that once you're signed in, guys, very simple layout. We put that same video that is here on the web page, right here in the interface of the phone app. We also make sure you have access to our support team right up front. You go to the menu bar up here in the upper left, scroll down just a bit. Yes.
Blaine, excuse me, just one moment. I am not seeing that, your iPad or your phone app there.
Thank you. Let me try and reshare it here. Let's give it another shot. Tell me if this is better, guys.
No, there we go.
Perfect. So I'll back up here, guys. So when you download the phone app and have signed in for the first time, you'll never need a password. We just send 6-digit codes each time. So you'll get your code in the email address you've used. You'll log in, and this is what you'll see. A helpful how-to video, just a 90-second video to show you how to create your first request. Then the menu button right here on the upper left. You click that, and right here, support is right there. Now, our support team is available from 8 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, to 8 in the evening, Eastern Standard Time. And that's Monday through Friday. So if you have a buyer, maybe it's not even a technical issue they're facing. Maybe it's just they're not comfortable with the technology and they want to be walked through the payment. We have a team specifically for that you can access right from the phone app. You guys don't need to go anywhere. Just use the phone app and make the call. And then we give a few directions about the app, but here is a really amazing feature, guys. You can see here, in prep for this demo, I did a request ahead of time. Let me just click into that. You guys can do this too. We're actually going to show you exactly where your payer is every step of the way in making the payment. We're also going to show you, once they've actually made the payment, where the money is in the ACH network. And that has been like a total blind spot in the past. If you cash a check, you know somewhere 4 or 5 business days, if it doesn't bounce, it's going to show up as deposited in the ledger. You don't know where on the rails of the ACH network it is. We're going to show you when it clears. We're going to show you when it deposits. That's in addition to the receipts we'll send you. You can do all this right from your phone app. And I'll give you a real life situation here. An agent about a month ago had called in. I was really concerned because they had not seen any activity. I was able to walk them through the phone app to the request, have them click on it, and show them that their buyer had not done anything with their request yet, because the accepted button, which indicates the buyer has logged in to the request you sent them, that had not flipped to green with the blue check mark. So this agent now knew to call their buyer and go, hey, I'm going to resend, and you see the resend button here at the top right. I'm going to resend you that secure email and link. Please interact with it right away. So he resent it, and that buyer was able to go right back into their inbox and see it at the top of their inbox, not have to dig through 2 days worth of inbox emails to find it. So that is a very helpful tracking and status capability that you have within the app. And the request pathway exactly mirrors the request pathway you saw in the desktop. You can see here we give you the same details, that same 3-part breakdown of what you'll need. Most agents, after seeing this once, we see they click don't show this again, so they can get right to the request. And this is the pathway right here that is 90 seconds for most agents. Yes, I have their email. Screen 1, I'll need a property address. Let me pick one that's maybe familiar to you guys. There it is, Dublin, Ohio. That's what I want. Automatically, screen 1 populates in for you. And since it's connected to Google Maps, you'll very seldom have to enter the full address. Only on very new builds will you probably have to enter the address by hand manually. Most of the time, the Smart Search picks it up. That's screen 1. Today, I'm going to do $5,000 in earnest money. That's screen 2. Screen 3 is I'm going to go ahead and pretend that I am the payer today. I'll add Aaron in on here. It'll ask me to confirm that this email address looks good. That's screen 3. Screen 4, it's the same Smart Search feature I just showed you. This is a demo, of course, so I can't pull up Consultants Realty, but you can see here a really cool feature illustrated on screen 4. If you've entered Consultants Realty one time for an escrow, for a transaction, it will always suggest it from there on out. So you won't even have to type that part. Screen 5, keeping everybody in the loop. This is the screen you saw on the desktop app where it showed you all 3 automatic recipients. And you can see how easy it is to add a recipient, just like in the desktop app. Finish setup, and you're right there, guys. You can make edits to any piece of information that looks incorrect, or you can go ahead and say, this looks great, swipe to send. And you have just sent a secure digital earnest money request that your buyer can interact with safely, securely, and send that money in an average of 2 business days. and you can track it the entire way. Now, with that said, I do want to show something. It's very important that you guys also understand what the buyer goes through. And this is just a short video that we always show to make sure you guys have an understanding of exactly what your buyer is going to go through. Let me grab this here for you. I will play this video, only takes about 2 minutes, and then we'll open it up for questions. But one point that I want to make as you're going through this is we're doing two really cool things for your buyer and for you. We're making sure they are who they say they are. We're confirming their identity. And we're using Plaid, the same undergirding technology behind Zelle, Venmo, quite a few others, to make sure they have a sufficient funds check before they're allowed to hit pay. Now, that doesn't completely remove the possibility of them going back in a day later and taking out a bunch of money out of their account and sinking the transaction. But we eliminate about 99% of what would be bounce check situations by that balance check, that sufficient funds check process, guys. And that is an amazing feature. We've actually had agents call in initially upset and say, this payment wouldn't go through for my buyer. And we've been able to tell the agent on the phone, well, actually, your buyer has $3,000 and you're asking them to make a $7,000 earnest money payment. We just saved you from headache 4 or 5 days down the road. So that's a great feature. So those are the two things your buyers are going to do, and I'll let this video take it away.
Let's take a look at the buyer's journey as they complete their payment. The buyer will accept the request in their email. There is no sensitive information in the email. We introduced Earnnest to the buyer and shared just a little about our security and transparency, and give your buyers access to our support team should they have any questions about paying their Earnnest money. The button in their email will direct them to a secure page where your buyer will go through a 2-step verification process. Once they create their account, they will review your request. Earnnest does not allow the buyer to edit or change any of the details of your request. Instead, if they find the details to be inaccurate, they will need to contact you for an updated payment request. If everything is correct, they will click "This is correct," which will lead them to the Buyer Hub. The Buyer Hub contains the details of the request, the buyer's name, the escrow holder, the earnest money amount, and a flat $15 processing fee to the buyer. There are 2 actions.
So I stopped the video only one time, guys, and it's for this screen right here. I do often get asked about the $15 fee. The reason Earnnest settled on a $15 fee is that we did a lot of market research, and in general, we found that a $15 fee was either at cost or cheaper than a wire. We've only actually come across a couple instances where someone had a $15 or $12 wire. In most cases, the average is somewhere between $25 and $35, depending on what part of the country you're in. So not only is Earnnest this fast, convenient option, not only is it an incredibly safe option, 95,000 transactions, 0 instances of fraud, not a single one, but thirdly, it's also a very inexpensive option for your agent, for your buyers.
That the buyer will complete in the Buyer Hub. First, they will need to confirm their identity, and then they will connect their bank account. These 2 actions are what make Earnnest different from any other digital payment platform. We are verifying the buyer's identity in real time and confirming that they have sufficient funds to make the payment, protecting you and your buyer. The buyer will be prompted to select their online banking partner. Earnnest is connected to over 13,000 banks nationwide. If your buyer doesn't have online banking, they can manually enter their account and routing information. We never store or see the buyer's banking information. Using our secure system, Earnnest is completely removing the possibility of bounced checks, saving you valuable business days and a lot of headaches. Once your buyer's identity is confirmed and the proper amount of funds are available for payment, they can pay their Earnnest money.
All right, everyone. So Erin has been dropping some good information. We have one last resources page to show you guys, but I'd like to stop here real quick and make sure that all this has been clear, helpful, and see what questions you guys have. Digital earnest money in the real estate space is not a very old concept, so we always assume there's a few questions around this. And I don't see any questions in the chat. Aaron, either I did a really bad job or a really good job. I'm not sure which. Usually there's a few questions. Okay, well, I'll show this page. I want to be respectful of y'all's time. I really do hope this is a product that will help you guys in your business. We have 48 states, thousands and thousands of agents now using this every month, and have seen a lot of success and very, very happy agents in terms of helping them run their business. So I'll share my screen one last time, and let's show you guys our resource page. So Earnnest really did try to think of everything. We try to think about agents, and again, that buyer presentation, we found very quickly, agents were going in there and trying to explain Earnnest and getting into lots of back and forth, and that was no good. So we had our marketing team work with a lot of our partners and come up with customizable 1 and 2 pagers, beautifully designed to, one, allow you guys to brand according to your business. And I'll show you here real quick. See how easy this is? You just drop a PNG or a JPEG file, real easy, and it'll accommodate to this space right here. So that's where you put your KW Consultants Realty. And then we try to design these, it's clearly branded Earnnest, but we try to tackle like our top line questions. So literally our number 1 asked question is, Earnnest going to store my banking information in that payment process you just showed? And the answer is absolutely not. It's another reason Earnnest has 0 fraud in 95,000 transactions. If someone broke into or breached our doors tomorrow, which no one ever has from an IT perspective, but if they did, there would be nothing there to take. It's kind of the ingenious way we're designed. It's there is no banking information. There are no login credentials. And you can even see here the other questions we commonly have that we answer. This is something that we've seen hundreds of agents use, download and use for their business in that buyer presentation. You've got the comparison chart here. How does Earnnest stack up with other traditional payment methods? And you can kind of see there very simply the Earnnest difference. All right. Another great example here is this one right here. Let's say you are going to go ahead and make your first request and you don't want to watch a video. That's fine. You as the agent have a very simple how-to guide for using the phone app for the first time. Shot by shot, screen by screen. And then I'll pull one more here. What about your home buyers? Same boat. I do not want to watch one more video. I don't like following videos while I'm making the payment. No problem. We've got a step-by-step guide for them, screenshot by screenshot, and that's co-brandable. And we also include all our support, email, and calling information right there for you. So I can't say that we've thought of everything. There's always, every month we find out something that we could add to our portfolio. But in general, we have agents who are really happy with this. We've got their business needs covered. We've got their branding covered. And we've got a safe, secure method for making earnest money requests. Aaron, is there anything that you can think of that I missed that I should have brought up?
I just wanted to reiterate the ease of the process here. Think of it, if you have an out-of-town buyer, this doesn't require them to overnight a check and pay a crazy amount and hope that it gets in time. They don't have to risk going to their local bank and hoping that someone types in the wiring information correct. And on top of that, we have individuals on business trips worldwide that are making their payments using our tool to lock in their contracts. We have expats around the world as well who are being able to make payments from military bases around the world. So this is a great tool and resource. If you are working with buyers that are not nearby, feel free to take advantage of this as a free resource for you as an agent. And it also is a great benefit that they don't have to take off of work 8 to 5 if you're working with a local buyer. So they can sit down during their lunch hour, or even if they take a 5-minute coffee break, they can, typical user is able to make their payment in less than 5 minutes. So that's super easy for you. Even if you go under contract at 6 o'clock, we've had agents that said that they won the bid because they were able to get money in first and lock that in with guaranteed earnest money. So you can get that contract locked in by 6:15, 6:30. And so super easy, great tool and resource. And our team is here to help in any way that we can. So feel free to let us know how we can walk along with you.
I appreciate that, Aaron. You actually, I did forget something. You jogged my memory. I'm going to share my screen one last time, guys. The receipts. Got to show you guys the receipts everybody gets. There you go. So as soon as the buyer makes a payment, everyone, the receipt on the left side is generated. And you can see why so many agents toss the lender onto this email chain because of the great details, including the originating account and receiving account, as well as the name of the escrow holder account, everything broken out. And then 2 to 3 business days later, we do have some payments deposit as fast as 1 day. The average is by far 2 business days. And then, of course, we do have some that settle in 3 with slower banks. But you can see here there's a deposit receipt that completes everything. And both the payment and deposit receipt are sent to both the buyer and your back office at Keller Williams. So there's never anyone left out of the loop is kind of our goal. And of course, you guys, if you're using the phone app, can track it real time, step by step. We really appreciate everyone's time today. We really enjoy our relationship with KW and KW agents, and hope this is useful for you guys. Any questions before we let you guys get back to your, I'm sure, very busy weeks?
I was going to just reiterate as well. If you haven't copied some of those links, find the ones that are important to you and are helpful for you. Please copy and paste those somewhere. That would be helpful. And that way you have those on hand when you need it.
Thank you, Aaron. I don't know if Lisa's on this call, but I always send a follow-up email straight to Lisa with all these links. So I'll be doing that as well.
And let us know your feedback as well. We definitely want to know how it's working for you and the ways that it's benefiting you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great week, and thanks for joining us. Take care.
Take care.